All right. And welcome into Hashmark Sports and the Robin Dorr Show.
Yeah.
We are locked and loaded for a Saturday, just absolutely jam-packed with some NCAA Tournament basketball.
Overflowing with it.
Yeah, overflowing. Speaking of overflowing,
Oh, no.
our buddy Dave, Dave
Oh, yeah, I know. Good.
tried to make one of those like super fancy cakes the other day,
Oh, like a multi-tiered.
Multi-tiered, yeah. Like the ones you see on those baking shows.
Oh, yeah.
And
Aspirational.
aspirational, I guess you could say. Well, his structural engineering skills did not quite match his frosting enthusiasm.
Oh, no.
Let's just say it looks less like a, celebratory dessert and more like the Leaning Tower of Pisa dipped in buttercream frosting.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, Dave's ambitious baking endeavors aside, you came here for hoops, and we got you covered with a deep dive into 8 monster matchups today.
Absolutely.
You sent us your questions and insights, and we put in the work. We're talking tempo, those crucial one-on-one battles, what the coaches might be cooking up.
X's and O's.
And, of course, that razor-thin advantage that could swing these games.
Oh, yeah. Every possession counts in March.
You know it, and we're both laying out our confident picks for each one. I'm rolling with my feel for the game.
Love it.
And Dorr's breaking down the numbers to find the edge.
That's where I live.
Let's get right to it.
Let's go.
Kicking things off bright and early, we got McNeese facing off against Purdue in Providence, 11:10 a.m. Eastern on CBS.
Right.
Odds makers got Purdue as a 6.5-point favorite, with the total set at 142.5 Nice Day. Dorr, when you look at the numbers for this one, what jumps out at you?
Well, what's so interesting here is the potential clash of styles.
Okay.
McNeese loves to get out and run. They actually rank pretty high nationally in terms of, how quickly they push the ball.
Fast.
And Purdue, as you know, tends to be more deliberate, often working through their size advantage with Zach Edey.
Yeah.
So the pace of this game is the first thing I'm looking at.
Okay.
Can McNeese dictate that tempo?
Right.
In terms of the matchups, those McNeese guards are quick, and they're going to try to get into the paint, and that puts pressure on Purdue's perimeter defense. Coaching-wise, Matt Painter's been here many times.
Sure has.
But upsets happen in March. Statistically, while Purdue should have an edge, that 6.5-point spread feels a little inflated considering McNeese's offensive capabilities.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards the under at 142.5.
Interesting take on the total. My gut on this one is that McNeese, as a 12 seed, plays with a real sense of urgency.
Yeah, you can't underestimate that.
That 6.5 feels like a lot for a first-round game where emotions are running high. I'm taking McNeese in the points.
I like it. All right. Staying in Providence, the next game up is Arkansas versus St. John's at 1:40 p.m. Eastern, also on CBS. St. John's is favored by the same margin, 6.5 points.
Okay.
And the total is a touch higher at 145.5 dollars. Guerrero, what's the numerical breakdown look like here?
If we connect this to the bigger picture of tournament trends,
Okay.
home court advantage can be significant early on.
St. John's is playing in Providence.
Right.
Which should give them a boost.
Right.
However, when you dig into the numbers, St. John's defense, while improved, can still be vulnerable, especially against teams that are aggressive and attacking the basket.
Yeah.
Arkansas, despite some inconsistencies this season, has some really talented offensive players who can exploit those openings. The metrics suggest this game could be played at a fairly brisk pace, which might favor Arkansas's athleticism.
Okay.
A key matchup to watch is how effective Arkansas's forwards are at drawing fouls on St. John's interior players.
Right.
Statistically, the slight edge seems to be on the over 145.5, given both teams' offensive potential and defensive question marks.
My gut tells me St. John's at home is going to be a tough out.
It's tough to beat a team in their backyard.
That crowd's going to be rocking. Arkansas has shown flashes, but they haven't always put it together consistently.
Right.
I'm going with St. John's to cover this 6.5.
All right. I like it.
Let's head out west to Denver now, where Michigan will battle Texas A&M at 4:15 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Texas A&M is a small 2.5-point favorite with the total at 141.5 a fair. Or what do the numbers say about this matchup?
Well, what's fascinating here is Texas A&M's dominance on the offensive glass.
Okay.
They're one of the best rebounding teams in the country.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a significant advantage against a Michigan team that has struggled with defensive rebounding at times.
Yeah.
Extra possessions can be crucial in a tight tournament game.
Absolutely.
The pace is projected to be fairly measured.
Okay.
A key matchup will be Texas A&M's guards, putting pressure on Michigan's ball handlers and trying to disrupt their offensive sets.
Right.
Both coaches have a wealth of experience.
Oh, yeah.
But Texas A&M's recent form, combined with that rebounding edge, gives them a slight statistical advantage. I'm leaning towards Texas A&M covering the 2.5.
Michigan's got that brand recognition, that tournament history.
For sure.
Even if they are a lower seed this year, I think they'll come out focused and keep this one close. I'm taking Michigan, plus the points.
I like it.
Sticking in the Midwest, we've got Drake taking on Texas Tech in Wichita at 5:09 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Texas Tech is favored by 6.5, and the total is a low 127.5 door. What are the metrics telling you about this one?
This total of 127.5 immediately stands out.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, under Grant McCasland, has really emphasized defense, and they play at a deliberate pace.
Okay.
Drake, while a very efficient offensive team, doesn't typically push the tempo at an extreme rate either.
Right.
So the numbers really point to a slower-paced, potentially grinded-out type of game.
Okay.
The key matchup will be Drake's excellent shooters, trying to find open looks against Texas Tech's disciplined perimeter defense.
Right.
Coaching will play a big role in controlling the rhythm of this game.
Sure will.
Statistically, Texas Tech's defensive efficiency is very impressive, and that's why I'm leaning towards the under 127.5.
Drake has pulled off some upsets in the past, and they got a really good offensive team.
No doubt.
That 6.5 feels like a bit much against a team that can score.
Yeah, they can put the ball in the basket.
My gut says Drake keeps it within that number.
Right.
Now we jump to Lexington, Kentucky for a really interesting matchup. Creighton versus Auburn at 6:00 p.m. Eastern on TBS and True TV.
Right.
Auburn is a significant 8.5-point favorite, and the total is a high 150.5 place. Dor, break down the numbers for us.
Well, what's fascinating here is the stark contrast in playing styles.
Okay.
Auburn is one of the fastest-paced teams in the country, relying heavily on their athleticism and getting out in transition.
Up and down they go.
Creighton, on the other hand, is much more methodical, emphasizing offensive execution and three-point shooting.
Okay.
That high total of 150.5 reflects the potential for a high-scoring affair if Auburn can dictate the tempo.
Right.
The key matchup will be Creighton's shooters needing to get open looks against Auburn's very athletic defenders.
Yeah.
Coaching will be crucial in trying to impose their preferred pace.
Right.
Statistically, Auburn's offensive and defensive efficiency numbers are quite strong, but Creighton's experience and their ability to really shoot the ball make them a dangerous opponent to give that many points to.
Yeah.
I'm seeing value on the over 150.5.
Auburn has looked dominant lately.
Yeah, they're a wagon.
Their athleticism is off the charts.
It's ridiculous.
But Creighton is so well coached.
Sure.
And they can really shoot the lights out.
No doubt about it.
That 8.5 is a big number in a tournament setting. I'm going with Creighton to cover.
All right. I like it.
Back to Denver, we have BYU taking on Wisconsin at 6:45 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Wisconsin is a very slim 1.5-point favorite, and the total is a high 155.5 points of. Dor, what did the analytics tell us about this one?
This feels like a game that could absolutely come down to the final possession.
Oh, yeah.
Both teams are efficient offensively, but Wisconsin tends to play at a much slower, more controlled pace than BYU, who likes to get up and down the court.
Okay.
That high total of 155.5 is intriguing, given Wisconsin's preference for a slower tempo.
It's interesting.
A key matchup will be BYU's offensive firepower against Wisconsin's disciplined defense. Coaching in late-game situations will be critical here.
No doubt.
Statistically, the offensive efficiency numbers for both teams are quite comparable, making this a very tight matchup.
Okay.
However, Wisconsin's slight edge in defensive efficiency, combined with their experience in close games, gives them a marginal advantage.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards the under 155.5.
This one feels like a classic Big Ten battle, even though BYU isn't in the conference.
Yeah, right.
Wisconsin just knows how to grind out wins, especially in close games.
He's been there before.
I'm taking Wisconsin to cover that tiny spread.
All right, I like it.
Heading back to Wichita for our penultimate game, a highly anticipated showdown between Gonzaga and Houston at 7:40 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Houston is favored by 4.5 points, and the total is set at 139.5 door. The numbers on this heavyweight clash.
This is a fascinating clash of strengths. As you say, Houston boasts one of the elite defenses in the entire country. They are incredibly disruptive and don't give up easy baskets.
No, they don't.
Gonzaga, on the other hand, has a remarkably efficient and versatile offense.
Right.
That total of 139.5 seems about right, reflecting Houston's defensive prowess.
Yeah.
A key matchup will be Gonzaga's talented guards trying to navigate Houston's relentless ball pressure.
Yeah.
Both coaching staffs are among the best in the nation, so tactical adjustments will be key.
Oh, absolutely.
Statistically, Houston's defensive metrics are truly dominant, but you can never count out Gonzaga's offensive firepower and tournament experience.
Right.
The edge, based on their consistent defensive performance all season, leans slightly towards Houston covering the 4.5.
This is a tough one for me. Gonzaga's got that tournament magic.
Yeah.
But Houston's defense is just suffocating.
They can really lock teams down.
My gut says Houston's physicality on the defensive end will be the difference, and they cover.
All right, bold prediction.
And finally, to wrap up this jam-packed Saturday of hoops, we have UCLA facing Tennessee in Lexington at 8:40 p.m. Eastern on TBS and True TV.
Big one.
Tennessee is a 5.5-point favorite, with the total at a low 130.5-point door. What's the final numerical breakdown of the day?
This matchup screams defensive battle.
Yeah.
Both UCLA and Tennessee are known for their strong defensive principles and their ability to limit opponents' scoring opportunities. That low total of 130.5 certainly reflects that expectation.
Right.
A key matchup will be UCLA's disciplined half-court offense trying to find ways to score against Tennessee's aggressive and athletic defense.
Right.
Coaching experience in the tournament is definitely a factor for both programs.
Yeah.
Statistically, Tennessee's defensive efficiency numbers are a bit stronger, and their ability to control the boards could give them a significant advantage in a potentially low-scoring game.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards the under 130.5.
Tennessee's got that SEC toughness.
Oh, yeah.
They're a really physical team.
Got to be banging down low.
I think there'll be too much for UCLA in this one. I'm taking Tennessee to cover. All right. There you have it, our deep dive into what looks like an incredible Saturday of NCAA tournament action.
An absolute feast of basketball.
To recap our top 3 plays for today, I liked McNeese to cover against Purdue St. John's, to cover against Arkansas, and Houston to cover against Gonzaga.
Love those picks. And from the numbers perspective, my top 3 plays would be the under in the McNeese-Purdue game, the over in the Arkansas-St. John's matchup, and the under in the BYU-Wisconsin game.
Okay.
And just a quick glance ahead to Sunday.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the potential matchup involving Baylor.
Right.
Depending on who they play and how their game looks on Saturday, that total could present an interesting opportunity.
Love it, all right? Whether you're riding with our picks or have your own insights locked in.
Hope so.
We hope this breakdown gives you the knowledge you need to make the most of the games.
Absolutely. Enjoy the madness.
Enjoy all the action, and we'll catch you next time right here on Hashmark Sports and The Rob and Door Show.